Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions. With your host, Bryan. We're going to wrap up today with a special selection, which is where one of you tell me exactly what it is I need to check out. If you have your own song that you would like to submit for special selection, you can find a link to do so in the description below. Today's special selection comes at us from Chips. It says Beirut, a Sunday smile. Not sure how much you'll have to say on this. Maybe it's just purely for enjoyment. The song is inside of a larger video. It starts at 6:30, goes to 10:40, so we got 4 minutes ahead of us. We're going to check this out. I have started the video just a couple of minutes prior to that. I just want to make sure I get the full song and without having to skip around and whatnot. So here we go. Beirut, a Sunday smile. Okay. What, a mellophone? Maybe a flugelhorn? I mean, it's definitely in a trumpet family, just... got this nice 6/8 kind of vibe going. Dual ukuleles?
All I want is the best for our lives, my dear. And you know my wishes are sincere. What's to save holidays I cannot bear? A Sunday smile.
Alright, so we're layering up the vocals with the accordion.
And that cemetery mile, we paused and sang a Sunday smile. We wore it for a while, and that cemetery mile, we paused and sang about a Sunday smile.
Beautiful vibrato to this lead singer. Oh, we got a French horn and a baritone. A large baritone, though. And I don't know what instrument that is. I don't think that's a flugelhorn or a mellophone. Yeah. I like how the accordion is keeping the waltz feel. Okay. And we have a traditional trumpet over there too. Real wonderful how this has all come together. I love the minimalist kit too. And the cool thing is yeah, we're at 10:40. It definitely feels like an art project by a bunch of jazz kids, especially that little transition right there. Very clean appearance of a one-shot transition. Uh, Having the camera move into his back so we get a full white picture. So then the next scene we can just start at his t-shirt and pull back. And it looks like we followed him through the door, but we actually have two takes here, two scenes. They can easily stitch it together. So yeah, very much like it feels like college art project here between some jazz students and possibly an aspiring filmmaker. Very, very interesting vibes here. Um, Gorgeous though, right? The entirety of the song is just, to me there's a lot of beauty to it. And I think a lot of it comes from the layers because there's not a heavy idea of movement. We kind of sit within the same structure for most of the song. We come in with the ukuleles, and I don't think they change much throughout the entire track. We get the vocals in, and I think there's only like three or four vocal lines. There's really not a lot going on there as well. The big change is when the vocals come out the first time, and he plays his brass instrument, and then the violin and the trumpet and all the other instruments come in, and we have this bridge that really is more of a variation of the single idea that we have. So I don't even know if I want to call it a B section. It really feels like a variation on A. We really haven't moved. I think the foundation is identical. We've just added more melodic elements or atmospheric elements on top of it. So it really does feel like a song that's not really moving anywhere. And because of that, we have, I mean, it could kind of be seen as like a slow burn, right? We start out with one layer, which is going to be the ukuleles. Technically, I guess it's two layers, but and we slowly add more and add more. And at one point we actually remove one to add something else. That's the vocals coming out for the brass that he plays. And then of course we swap that again and we bring more elements in after that. But it really is an exercise in simplicity, minimalism. Even when we look at the drum kit, we have a lot of brass in here, and we have a couple of elements where we have layered concepts, like the vocals and the accordion are playing the same melodic line. So we have more of a textural layer there than melodic or harmonic or chordal, right? It really is focusing on supporting this one idea rather than putting extra concepts around it. But this idea of minimalism, like I said, even kind of goes to the drum kit. It is a very pared down kit. We have snare, we have bass kick, we have a hi-hat with a tambourine on it, and a ride cymbal, maybe a crash. And interestingly, I thought this was so cool. I don't know if anybody else caught this. The bass drum is not a bass drum. It looked like it was just the drum head that was being supported by a like a metal exterior. Like it was, it was the part that the head would go into on a full drum. It's just the body of the drum is gone, so you don't get any of the reverberance. You just get the core bassy punch of the mallet hitting the drum head. You don't get any of the reverberation off of it, so it kind of loses the meatiness, but you get the depth, and that is wild, and it fits so well here. This very stripped down bass kick, especially when you have a baritone um, already performing that area, right? Note wise, especially since the Barry is doing more of a like a waltzy thing, right? We're in 6/8, so we have this 1 2 3 4 5 6, 1 2 3 4 5 6. We have this nice like flow and sway to this whole thing, and the baritone is laying down the 1 and the 4, so you get the boom, 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 boom. boom. So, it really is laying down probably exactly what the bass kick is doing. You don't need all the reverberance. You just kind of want that initial punch to go along with what the baritone's doing. So, yeah, very cool. Taking this minimalistic approach and applying it even to the instrumentation. Um, And I mean, we can even, I think, we're going to get into the lyrics, but I mentioned that I really only heard like 3 or 4 lines in the lyrics too. A lot of it was just repeated about wearing a Sunday smile on the cemetery mile or something like that. And just repeated a lot. So there's even minimalism being applied to the lyrical content as well. So minimalism definitely is a huge aspect here. Now, I also want to take a look at the instrumentation. I've kind of pointed out a few of them, but ukuleles, not exactly common, although they are in the guitar family, the lute family, so it's not like they're completely odd to hear. It's just ukuleles aren't typically the instrument we hear from that family, at least on this channel. To me, this is still kind of has an indie rock kind of vibe to it, so I mean, I think it's a bit unusual. The accordion is unusual. Um, Getting in the brass section in here, kind of all over the place. We have a traditional trumpet, which is going to put us into the higher treble range. We have a baritone, which is going to be in the bass range. And then we have whatever this vocalist was using. We also have a French horn, which is kind of sitting in the middle, kind of plays around with both areas, more so into the treble, but still has can still hit some lower notes there as well. And like I said, whatever the singer was using, I initially thought it might have been a mellophone or a flugelhorn, but it almost felt like he held it sideways. Like usually these instruments are vertical, right? And here the valves were still vertical, but the instrument, the pipage, was horizontal. Very interesting. I've never seen this one in my life. So I'm curious what it is, right? It's still a trumpet. It's still in the trumpet brass family. It's valve based. It looks like a trumpet. It's just, I've never seen one designed quite like that. And I'm quite intrigued about it. But he was playing that in a bit of a lower range as well. So it sits in that same area as the French horn. So we have a pretty wide gamut on the brass. We have a higher range, we have lower range, we have stuff in the middle. And then we get to pair that with a stripped down drum kit, which for all intents and purposes is kind of an auxiliary percussion section. And the violin. I think that's everyone. It's a very eclectic group of instrumentation that kind of has, no, it does have a representative from every group except for woodwind. Yeah, there's no woodwind, so that's interesting. I wonder if that was intentional or if it was just how the band came to be. Went and talked to people. Hey, you want to join this group? And like, yeah, what do you play? I play French horn. All right, you're in. They put their group together to start writing music, and they just didn't happen to find somebody who wanted to join who played clarinet or bassoon or flute or whatever, saxophone. Not that I think any of them. I mean, I think I would have liked clarinet in here. I think it would have complemented the sound well. Flute, I think would have been contesting a lot with the violin, both in timbre and range. And I mean, bassoon would have been nice, but it probably would have been duplicating what the baritone's doing. Clarinet, I think, would have been nice, though. Saxophone, I think, might have overdone it a little bit. I don't know. I'm getting a little off topic here, but I do think it's interesting. Everything else is represented. I don't know where I was going with all that, though. Just kind of looking at the instrumentation, I guess. Just very cool to point all that out, especially since there's an instrument I can't name. I think that's what interests me the most there. Now, I want to talk about the tone, the theme, because I can't put a finger on it. There's brightness and joy in here. Certainly something positive, I think, especially when you listen to the violin and the ukuleles and the French horn. I think all have very positive, uplifting kind of vibes to them. But the accordion, the vocals, and not the baritone's just kind of laying down a basic idea. The waltz, so laying down that waltz vibe. Um, I can't remember specifically what the trumpet was playing. But anyways, the vocalist and the accordion were definitely injecting a little bit of negativity in there. I don't know if it was longing, melancholy, pensiveness. There was just a tinge of everything's not perfect, which is interesting because we start off with the ukulele, and at least the accordion with the ukulele didn't really pass this on. It wasn't really until a lot of the rest of the band came in that this ukulele, I mean, this accordion vocal line really started to show its tinges of darkness. So I'm interested what what the lyrics are going to bring to the table. Because, like I said, it is kind of bright, it is kind of cheerful. There's just this little element of longing, I think, some sort of melancholy. Not really sadness, just loss, right? Dealing with loss, or maybe accepting a loss. That might be it, because there's positivity now. You got to move on. You get past your grieving and you accept what happened, but it still doesn't remove that whatever is gone, right? You've accepted the loss, but it doesn't remove the effects of said loss. And I think that might be some of what I'm feeling here too. Like I said, it's positive, but there's little elements of negativity, but it's not like straight up sadness. Um, that might be it. Might Yeah, I think we're gonna dig into the lyrics here and see if anything pops up from there. Because I can't really think of anything else to jump onto about the music itself. So yeah, let's dig into this. Yeah, there's not a lot of not a lot of lyrics here. It does repeat a lot more than I thought, though. So it jumps between verse and chorus. However, I don't think there's anything musically that designates those. It's just the way that the lyrics are structured. The verse 1 says, "All I want is the best for our lives, my dear, and you know my wishes are sincere. What's to say for the days I cannot bear?" Which is interesting because we have a soft rhyme there. Dear and sincere rhyme. Bear kind of should rhyme with deer, but it doesn't, especially since they are spelled the same. So that's interesting. Then we hit the chorus. A Sunday smile, you wore it for a while. A cemetery mile, we paused and sang. That doesn't rhyme at all. I don't like that. Interesting, I think all of this flows together because the last line of the chorus, it's a 5-line chorus, which is interesting. We start on a Sunday smile and you wore it for a while, and we end on a Sunday smile and we felt it for, oh, and we felt true. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Yeah, a Sunday smile and we felt true, and we go into verse 2, and we burnt to the ground, left a view to admire, which rhymes back with while from the chorus. It also fits the structure of the chorus, which is longer than the rhythmic structure of the verses. Interesting. So we burnt to the ground, left a view to admire. With buildings inside, church of white, we burnt to the ground, left a grave to admire. As we reach for the sky, reach the church of white. Rhymed white with white. And then we go back into the chorus. Interesting. There's lots of really cool rhythmic things going on in here that I'm sure if I go back and listen to the way that they're sung, would present a flow that is different than how it's written on the paper, how the stanzas are um, segregated. But I'm not quite sure what I'm reading here. I mean, there's definitely some sort of relationship between two people. Says, I want what's best for our lives, my dear. We have a pet name there. And you know my wishes are sincere. What's to say for the days I cannot bear a Sunday smile? You wore it for a while. A cemetery mile, we pause and say. There's definitely something that died here. We burnt it to the ground, left a view to admire, with buildings inside, church of white. We burnt to the ground, left a grave to admire. I mean, is this about a failed relationship of some sort? I don't even necessarily think it needs to be romantic. It could also be familiar, like a father speaking to their kid and saying, I wanted what was best for you, but I kind of ruined that and burnt that to the ground. And maybe he's passing on the cemetery mile. Although I guess that could also be a cemetery mile for the relationship. And a Sunday smile, you wore it for a while. I mean, that could also be like a mask, like pretending to be happy with what's going on, but not on the inside. And like, I mean, that part, I think this is the first time I've kind of leaned on something that I think would fit with the melancholy, the longing that I feel is present here. Is about wearing a smile that you don't mean. A cemetery mile, we paused and sang. Yeah, I don't know. You guys got any thoughts on this? Hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you have a reading on this. There's definitely, I think, something melancholic in here, but I don't hear a lot of the brightness that I do in the music. I had mentioned that I felt like there was an acceptance of loss, and I feel like the loss is here, but I'm not sure about the acceptance part. I don't really see any of that bright positivity that should be paired with some of the longing. There's definitely a lot of longing in here, I feel. I'm just kind of missing out on what it means, what some of this metaphor means. So let's see. Instrumentation, simplicity, atmosphere, instrumentation. I think I already said that. Lyrics. I think I touched on it all. Yeah, Chips, you were right. Did not have a lot to say here, but I enjoyed it. I think this was fantastic. I really like the vibe they're going for. The vocalist has a beautiful voice, and I'm a fan of the instrumentation. It's a bunch of stuff we don't typically get to hear, even in isolation on this channel, but certainly together. I mean, accordion and ukulele, I think, is an odd combination to begin with. And just bringing in a nice wide brass section with that, and violin, and those vocals, just it's a beautiful combination. I'm gonna have to check out more of this Beirut and see what else they've done. I can't say I'm a huge fan of the song itself, but I love the foundation they have, and I'm definitely interested to see if there's anything else that maybe strikes me more at my alley, more my cup of tea that they work on with this group of instruments. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Beirut's Sunday Smile. Like I said, hit me up if you have anything to say about the lyrics, if you have anything you want to add about the song, if you know the name of that instrument. That would really help me out. I'm so curious about that. Above the comment section, there's a description box, and there's a link for Linktree. Take you to this menu right here. Has everything related to the channel. You can pick up some merch, follow me on Twitter, join the Patreon, join the Discord community, submit a special selection, all sorts of stuff. Above that, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. And I'll appreciate all three of those. I really would. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening whenever you choose to watch my videos.